Stop everything. Don't scroll past this. You held on. Every single night your spirit carried what your body couldn't anymore. You stayed up when others slept. You prayed when no one was watching. You kept faith when every circumstance screamed at you to let it go. And none of that was invisible. Every hour of silence you held, every tear you swallowed, every time you chose faithfulness when bitterness would have been easier, that was recorded. Not in a diary, not in a memory, in the highest court that exists. There is a sentence being prepared right now, and it is not against you. It is the answer to everything you endured in silence. The trial that has been running in the background of your life, the one you didn't even know had a name, is reaching its final hour tonight. A decision is being made. A seal is about to be pressed. You didn't land here by the algorithm. You were summoned. Your name was called in the highest council that exists, and Michael brought the invitation. I need you to hear this slowly, because what I'm about to say will either be the most important thing you heard today, or you'll scroll past it and wonder later why your house never shifted. There is a force, not imagined, not metaphor, that has been moving against your household. Right now, tonight, against your children, against the resources that were always somehow just out of reach. The money that made it to everyone else's hands but never quite landed in yours. The inheritance, spiritual and material, that was yours by birthright, and someone or something has been holding it at the gate. That's not failure. That's not your fault. That's why they hate you. The chosen are never attacked randomly. You are targeted because of what you carry. Think about the person who smiled at your face while sharpening the blade behind your back. Think about the night your mind would not shut off. When the fear came in at 2 in the morning and you couldn't breathe, couldn't shake it, and heaven felt 3,000 miles away. You spoke, and no one answered. You prayed and the ceiling felt like concrete, and the silence convinced you, maybe for just a moment, that God had forgotten where you lived. He didn't forget. He was watching. And tonight, something is shifting. I left the next step pinned in the first comment of this video. If even one thing I just said found the exact bruise you've been carrying, go there after this. There's a path waiting for you. Before we go further, I want to ask something of you right now. If you have been chosen, if your spirit recognized itself in what I just said, place your hand where you feel the weight most, and agree with me. The Lord is bringing 72 hours of clarity, not confusion, clarity about your house, your position, what has been working against you, and what is yours to do. Agree with that by pressing the like on this video. That agreement is not a ritual for a screen. It is a seal between you and heaven that you did not come here by accident. You are a chosen one, and your position is being restored. There is a sentence still open tonight. That means the enemy has not won yet. The gavel has not fallen on the wrong side. But here's what no one tells you. A sentence open on both sides means you still have time to position yourself. Michael is not standing idle. He is holding the seal. And the chosen one who understands their place in this tribunal does not pace the floor in fear. They stand in their position and speak their verdict first. That is exactly what the Solomon Code was built to help you do. It is waiting for you in the first pinned comment of this video. Open it. There is something there for exactly this moment. I want to sit with you for just a moment before we go further. David knew this place. He wrote Psalm 27 from inside it, not after the victory, but while the enemy was still at the gate. The Lord is my light and my salvation, whom shall I fear? The Lord is the strength of my life, of whom shall I be afraid? He didn't write that from a throne. He wrote it from a cave, from the kind of exhaustion that is more than tired, from the kind of silence where you wonder if your voice is still reaching anything at all. He wrote it from the floor you may be standing on right now. And the thing about David is, he didn't shout that psalm because he felt strong. He declared it because he knew the tribunal was not neutral. He knew whose side the seat of judgment was on, and that knowing was enough to move him from the cave to the throne. That same knowing is available to you tonight. Now I need to tell you something about the silence. The years you spent faithful while nothing externally confirmed it, those were not wasted. They were strategic. In a heavenly tribunal, the record of faithfulness is evidence. Every prayer you prayed that seemed to evaporate, every fast nobody saw, every Sunday you showed up when your circumstances told you to stay home, every time you chose to bless instead of curse the person who cursed you, all of it is on record. The enemy knows this, That's why the attack intensifies right before the verdict. That's why the force against your house has felt more concentrated lately. That's not a sign you're losing. That's a sign you're close. This is where Archangel Michael becomes relevant in a way most teachers won't touch. In Jude 1:9, Michael did not engage the enemy with personal power. He said, "The Lord rebuke you." He understood that the authority in a divine tribunal is not the combatant's strength. It is the position of the one invoking the verdict. And in Daniel 10:13, Michael was sent to break through a 21-day resistance, not because the prayer wasn't heard, but because the battle for the territory was real. The chosen one in Daniel kept praying. He didn't stop. He didn't assume the silence meant no. And on day 21, the sentence came through. Here is the heavenly tribunal protocol rooted in Isaiah 54:17. No weapon that is fashioned against you shall succeed, and you shall refute every tongue that rises against you in judgment. This is the heritage of the servants of the Lord. That is ESV, and I need you to hear what that verse actually says. It is not a comfort verse. It is a legal verdict. The heritage of the servants, not the perfect ones, the servants, the ones who showed up tired, who served while bleeding, who stayed faithful in a house that felt cursed for generations. 3 steps. Tonight, 5 minutes. Step 1. Name the threat aloud. Not in vague terms. Speak it. There is a force that has been working against the resources of this house. There is a withheld inheritance. There is a generational pattern that has followed this family. I name it. Naming it is not fear. Naming it is bringing it into the tribunal. Step 2. Declare Isaiah 54:17 as the divine verdict over what you just named. Not as a wish, as a verdict already written. No weapon fashioned against this house shall succeed. This is the heritage. Say it with the authority of someone who knows the judge is already on their side. Step 3. Decree the return. Whatever was stolen, peace, resources, relationships, the health of your children, the sleep that hasn't come in months, decree out loud that it is reversed. Tonight, not someday. Tonight is when the sentence is being decided. Speak into that window. That is not the complete path, but it is the doorway. And if you felt something shift in your chest while I walked you through those 3 steps, that was not emotion. That was recognition. The chosen one recognizing their position in the tribunal. The path I prepared for this exact moment goes further. It's waiting for you in the first pinned comment. Now let me be honest with you about something. You have probably prayed scattered prayers for years. I'm not judging that, neither is God. But scattered prayer is like scattered evidence in a court case. Each piece alone can be dismissed. What changes a verdict is a structured case. That's the gap that has been draining your house, not your faith, not your worthiness, not God's willingness. The gap is the difference between a declaration and a position. There's a 3-movement path built inside the Solomon Code. The first movement diagnoses exactly where the gaps are, the specific places where resources, peace, and discernment are draining out of your house. Not generic, not vague. The precise openings the enemy has been using, named and mapped so you can close them. The second movement stills the soul. Psalm 4:8 says, "In peace I will both lie down and sleep, for you alone, O Lord, make me dwell in safety." That is not a fantasy verse. It is a declaration that restores the nervous system to its original design, not permanent alert mode, not the vigilance that has kept you awake at 2 a.m. Sleep in peace is not a luxury for the chosen. It is the baseline, and this movement walks you back to it. The third movement positions your house with discernment. Not one isolated prayer, a daily protocol anchored in the book of Proverbs, the most practical, most structural book of wisdom in all of Scripture, built for the real life. You don't need to know Hebrew. You don't need 10 free hours. You need a position. This gives you one. More than 3,400 people are already walking with this guide. Not people who had it all together, people who were exactly where you are, tired, faithful, targeted, and ready to stop circling the same ground. The sentence over their house is no longer open on both sides. And the sentence over your house does not have to stay open tonight. The path is in the first pinned comment of this video. Open it. What's waiting for you there is for this exact moment. Drop your city and state in the comments right now. Let me see where you are. And as you do, say this quietly. I know who I am. 3 words, not a performance, a decree. I know who I am. Chosen, positioned, recorded, not forgotten. Say it again. I know who I am. If that decree landed somewhere real in your chest, share this with the one person in your circle who has been fighting the same invisible war and doesn't have a name for it yet. They were summoned here too. They just haven't found the door. If you're still here, I want to return something to you before we close. I'm not asking you to decide right now under the pressure of everything I just walked you through. You're a chosen one, and chosen ones are not coerced. They are invited. The first pinned comment is there whenever you're ready. Today, tomorrow, in the quiet of the night when the weight comes back. What I prepared for you does not expire. It was built for your real life, not for a perfect moment you don't have. But I will say this. The tribunal is in session tonight, and there is a difference between waiting and positioning. Only you know which one you've been doing. May the wisdom from above be the ground beneath your feet today. May the sentence over your house be sealed on the right side. Until we meet again.